Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and with regard to the Gary Gensler hearing, which we'll show some of that, what a freaking embarrassment. If I had to sum it up with one sentence, get them all out. All of these people in Congress need to go. Both sides of the aisle, not some of them, because we're at a point, I believe, in history where the only people that matter are the people that have the guts to stand up and do what needs to be done. And that doesn't mean just doing it the way it's always been done and calling him the Honorable Gary Gensler and towing the line and doing all the same old stuff because it's tradition. No. The history of this country has shown there are times when you have to fight. There are times when you have to yell and scream. There are times when you have to do what needs to be done. And none of these people are doing anything that needs to be done. They are completely turning a blind eye to what the truth is. And for that reason, they will be called out. At least on this channel, they'll be called out. So let's hit the refresh button. Look at the coin paprika. There's not anything crazy going on. Ethereum has dumped a little bit today. Do want to show you this because PolySign coming out on the Link2 platform is imminent. We don't know exactly when, but watch this. Just a little reminder. This is David Schwartz.
I'll do a couple more if you don't mind. What's happening with PolySign?
You know, unfortunately, I'm not really. That's one of the things where I'm under a non-disclosure agreement. I'm super excited about what we're doing at PolySign. We're officially an institutional custody company, but we're trying to do some very, very interesting things that I have to stop. I can't wait until pay was until yesterday, and I was always annoyed when there was an answer I wanted to give about pay ID and I couldn't, and now I have to do the same thing with PolySign. It's like I want to tell you things I can't. I got to stop there. Sorry.
Okay, well, this is the site, folks. It's linked to the link to this will be in the top of the description of this video. Don't wait until you think it's going to be up there. It'll be too late then. So if you have thought about going there and you think you're an accredited investor, you can go click the link in the top of this description of this video and tell them DAI sent you. Now, this clip right here was going around this morning, and I'll show you. This is from Riz Gary Gensler resign. Watch this.
Institutions, Joey and I sat in a meeting not that long ago with, some of the largest institutional money in the world trying to get smart about crypto. They owned zero on that day. I don't know if they do today. But as they enter the market, you have fixed supply, increasing demand. You don't have to go to MIT to know what's going to happen.
So ever since Brad Combs had brought up the idea that there was pre-allocated XRP in that Ripple escrow, oh man, the attacks like you're stupid, you don't know that's speculation. Well, then I interviewed Greg Kidd and we found out he had an option on XRP. Then we had the R3 lawsuit with Ripple, and then we found out they had an option. I think it got 5 billion XRP. But we're supposed to believe that out of all the meetings that Brad Garlinghouse has had, you think about how huge the XRP community army or whatever is, how big it is. Now, you think all those people showed up for any other reason than because it clicked with them? The people are in the army because they get it. You think that out of all the people that Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple have met with, the people and the financial firms, you think that only Greg Kidd and R3 said, hey, I want to get an option on a bunch of that. And like I said, I've got my igloo for sale in South Georgia, if you believe that. And I'm going to put a terrible price on it, because if you believe that, then you deserve a terrible price. All right. And now to the Gensler hearing. First point we want to make is from Wheezy. Gary Gensler's all about meeting with people, but he doesn't want to meet with XRP holders.
And I stand ready to meet with any of you one-on-one, nearly any time you want. We benefit from that feedback.
Well, the XRP holders would benefit from getting a meeting, Gary, so that we can talk about what you've done to us. because we're the ones you care about so much. That's what you say every time you're in front of a camera. But it's a lie, because you hadn't come anywhere near. You've met with Jamie Dimon 5 or 7 times since you became SEC chairman. You've met with representatives of Vanguard who manages your wealth, but you can't meet with over 70,000, a representative of over 70,000 XRP holders. In fact, you've tried to get John Deaton kicked out of the SEC lawsuit. So you can lie to people all you want, but people aren't buying this. Now, then there was Senator Toomey, who I call him a good guy light, because there are no tough good guys up at Congress, folks. Not that I've seen. Nobody. Tom Emmer's probably the only one bordering on anywhere close to what this country needs to fix it.
Stepping back, I think there's a larger problem here. As Bloomberg columnist Matt Levine put it, and I quote, Chairman Gensler's posture is that he should be in charge of writing the rules for crypto, but not write them. I just don't see how that can work, end quote.
Yeah, that right there, sorry, Senator Toomey, but that's a little too lukewarm for what we need. It's these people, look, folks, the people that are doing all this, anybody that's on the side of this whole Ethereum farce, these are liars. I mean, these are people are lying to a camera, and then we'll play things and show you the truth, and then they continue lying like it's no big deal. People that are that blatant of liars, you've got to handle them with the same kind of ruthlessness that they lie with. And raise your voice, get mad. It's okay. Sometimes that's what's needed, and now that's what's needed, not this lukewarm, let's just follow the whole, let's play nice and all. No, we're way beyond that. These people, Gary Gensler has been trained in all the BS pleasantries. That's his game. I can spot this a mile away. That's his game. It's the same thing Janet Yellen does. These people are bureaucrats that have been trained to just kill you with 1,000 paper cuts of BS government speak, while they slit your throat when you turn around. That's what these people are. You've got to understand that. And the people that are trying to fight the good fight have got to learn to match them, and they're not matching anything, folks. And some of them aren't even on our side. They just pretend to be. Speaking of, here's Senator Loomis, okay? So Loomis is bragging about her and Senator Gillibrand's bill, and she's talking about what they think about what a security is, which okay, Gary Gensler agrees with them, right? So I use their own words and I put it right out in front of you.
So we believe that it is those that raise the money through an initial sale of digital assets and those that continue to provide essential managerial efforts should be held responsible.
Okay, so I'll talk a bit about the funding model. So we will have a fundraiser for 2 months starting February 1st. It will be available at funds.ethereum.org.
Section 301 of our bill provides for robust technology-neutral disclosure obligations that would hold responsible those who benefited from that fundraising.
So the idea is that part of the initial issuance will be 1,000 Ether for 1 Bitcoin, or up to 2,000 Ether for 1 Bitcoin if you get in early to compensate for the increased risk. So the issuance model is that we will fundraise. Suppose that we hand out X Ether through the fundraiser.
But the entrepreneurs, the sponsor, the promoter, the entrepreneurs, that's where the disclosure obligation ought to be.
Then there will be about 0.5x will be pre-mined, and then 0.4x after that will be mined per year forever. So it's this hybrid of Mastercoin, of the Mastercoin and Ripple model, and the pure Bitcoin mining model.
You don't say. And then there's this, John Deaton. Gary Gensler says other than Bitcoin, he can't discuss specific tokens, including ETH. Hester Pierce says the same thing. SEC Enforcement Director claims that he can't discuss specific tokens, including ETH. Then why did Hinman discuss ETH? And then this guy, Stefan Huber, says there's no logical explanation why Gary Gensler claims there are several crypto assets that should not fall under securities regulation, and that he is not allowed to talk about individual cryptos except Bitcoin. He is pumping his own and his friends' bags. There's no explanation. And then John Deaton here, he says, this right here is where they say Gensler basically said he expects 10 to 11 years of one-off settlement negotiations with different crypto market participants before they can figure out standard rules for crypto. John says this disqualifies Gary Gensler as a commissioner, let alone chairman. He said he and the SEC will not provide guidance to companies, entrepreneurs, or retail investors who he allegedly protects. Instead, he's going to tax those entrepreneurs one after the other for the next decade. That's what his plan is. And then this came across because at the same time, CFTC Ralston Benham was speaking, was in front of Congress too. Conflicts of interest, big concern in crypto. Then Jake Chervinsky, who's a Bitcoin Ethereum maximalist, did this write-up on what that Senate Agricultural Committee bill was about. But the part that grabbed me was down here where he says, the bill also gives two examples of digital commodities, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yes, we all agree these two are commodities, and no, we don't, Jake, we don't. We all agree these two are commodities, not securities, but including only these two implies a much narrower jurisdictional scope for the CFTC than it should have, and makes an agency turf war more likely. Well, I said, why should the bill presuppose that Bitcoin and Ethereum are commodities? Because Bill Hinman said so? He said he said that was his opinion. Then they said it wasn't. We don't even know what they meant. But it wasn't official guidance, or was it? We don't know. Jake, they know from this video. I plopped the video down here for Jake's reference. And now Jake knows, if he didn't know already. They know who the 4 Satoshis are, which gives you the common enterprise, right? So that makes Bitcoin a security, right? Homeland Security says they've met with, they don't just know who they are, they met with the 4 Satoshis. Then, and there was also the Ethereum fundraiser where whale purchasers were disguised. How can this be ignored? It would be built on a foundation of lies. So not only was there an Ethereum ICO, a fundraiser with a common enterprise and the whole thing, then you got Bill Hinman saying that, setting that aside. Well, then he said it was his opinion. So one man's opinion, not even the official position of the SEC, can set aside the fact that Ethereum came out as a security, and that's okay. And now we all think Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities? No. It's all built on a bunch of BS. And Jake Chervinsky's smart enough to know it. That's the sad part. Let's see if he probably blocked me after I did that. Let's see. If he did, it's really no loss for me. Let's see if he blocked me. I kind of expected that he would, but it's not going to upset me. He hasn't blocked me yet, but I'm sure he will. Because Jake Chervinsky, look, one pattern I've learned about all of these Bitcoin, Ethereum, maxi types, there's several of them, especially the attorneys, several of them have a little arrogance problem. But even with their arrogance, like a Ryan Selkis, even with their arrogance, they cannot even comment on these kind of videos and comments. Because to comment on them is to acknowledge them. And if they acknowledge them, it is what it is, folks. The facts are the facts. The timeline's the timeline. The second they acknowledge that they know about it, where do they go from there? There is nowhere to go from there because it is what it is. That's why they can't acknowledge it. And these are some arrogant mofos too, folks. Make no mistake about that. These people, me and you are idiots compared to them in their world. But if we're so stupid, how did we get them in their own words? And how did we put the timeline together? I mean, these guys look down on the John Deatons of the world. I look up to them. The John Deatons of the world are the people that inspire me, not these arrogant people that think just because they graduated from this school and they work in Washington, D.C., that they're somehow smarter than everybody else. I think it's just the opposite. If they were smarter than all the rest of us, then none of us would have. I mean, the arrogance is what underestimates the rest of us, folks. All right, right here. According to our Ethereum post-merge inflation dashboard, 46.15% of the proof of stake nodes are storing data, processing transactions, and adding new blockchain blocks can be attributed to just 2 addresses. This is heavy dominance by those addresses and is something to watch. And I said, disguised whales? I should have put a question mark. A user paid 36.8 Ethereum in gas fees to mint the first proof of stake NFT on Ethereum. And the circus keeps traveling down the tracks, folks. Breaking, Ethereum plunges over 9% after the merge update. All right, this is a good clip from Mark Yusko. I agree with this.
The internet busted the monopoly of information control. Information was controlled by governments. It used to be controlled by the church. Then it was controlled by governments and government state-owned media and state-influenced media. And that was busted wide open. And commerce was bigger than media, and that got disrupted by the mobile net. Well, the truth net, I used to call it the trust net, but we're replacing trust with truth. So I like truth net better. And the truth net takes value and banking and financial services and derivatives, which are orders of magnitude bigger than commerce. I mean, as big as Amazon is, it's tiny compared to global financial services. I mean, tiny, because that's not true. I'm like, just do the math. And this disruption that's going to occur and is occurring isn't going to stop. The internet busted the...
All right. And let's see what else we got. Oh, wanted to show you this from James Phelan. An unidentified third party has filed a motion to seal portions of the Ripple defendant's motion for summary judgment that references the names of the third party's employees. An unidentified third party. Now, what in the world is that? Now, this was an interesting tweet. Pompliano has removed Bitcoin from his bio, laser eyes from his profile picture, and hasn't mentioned Bitcoin in months. One by one, Bitcoin maximalists are giving up, moving on to other hobbies as they realize they were wrong about everything. And I said, I wonder if they were paid to be wrong or paid to corral the sheep. That's what I think. I'm not saying him. I'm just saying a lot of these Bitcoin maxi. I think that I think it's been a coordinated effort for a long time, folks. Coordinated to sell this Bitcoin thing for a purpose, and I don't know what all the purpose is. Now, look at this. Flare ecosystem team meets with CZ Binance. From my understanding, Flare should be dropping any minute now, folks. Keep your eye on that. I'm going to finish with this. Ledger, one of my sponsors, Ledger, the Ledger people, got ETH. Get Ledger. The merge is finally here to celebrate. You can save 20% on a Ledger Nano X plus billfold pack, giving you unparalleled security for your Ethereum. Conditions apply. I'll put the link to this in the very top of the description of this video, and click on that and tell them DAI sent you. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family you can get a discount on a Ledger Nano S to celebrate the Ethereum merge. I'm celebrating it. You know what I'm celebrating is that XRP did not have to merge.